Global supply chains have been under pressure from wars, tariffs, rising delivery expectations, and AI disruption. On this edition of Big Business Bet, WION speaks with Shipsy co-founder and CEO Soham Chokshi about the future of logistics and global trade.
Global supply chains are facing constant disruptions, from geopolitical tensions to rising delivery expectations to rapid adoption of AI. To understand what comes next, on this edition of Big Business Bet, we are joined by Mr. Soham Chokshi, the co-founder and CEO of Shipsy.
Reality is that since 2020, it's been one after the other, a supply chain crisis, one after the other, right? So it started with, of course, COVID, and that's where enterprises saw that building resilience, as you call it, in the supply chain is important. Then there was the chip shortage, then there's the Russia-Ukraine war, there's the Red Sea, there's now the West Asia, and time after time, companies have now seen that it's extremely important because it's not just one isolated incident. Right. Today, rerouting via, let's say, the Cape of Good Hope, it adds about 14 days of transit time, and it adds a lot of cost as well, right? And for things like, let's say, commodities where the margins are thin, it can add roughly 30% added costs, right? Now that's a big number. But more so, I do think that supply chains are going from just-in-time to more resilience. There's a lot of uncertainty today, because of which people know that they need to have alternate suppliers. In place. They need to have shipping lanes, right? Shipping lines, contracts with different kind of vendors to ensure that they can have different lanes in place. So I think the uncertainty itself in the tariffs have caused a lot of, investment also in terms of technology to build more resilience. Customers in Australia, right? And I was just having a chat with some of them. It's a diesel economy for transportation, and diesel prices are up nearly 80%. And that's not a small number that someone can just adjust to. And it's not coming down anytime soon. Not just this, there are regulations that are now passed that imply that if you're charging your customer extra as a transportation company, you need to pass that on in a rightful manner to the drivers. Yeah. Now, all of this needs investment in technology, it needs agility. The second big driver that we're seeing over the next 3 to 4 years, right, is actually a shortage of people, right? And this may seem a little counterintuitive, but logistics has always been a very manually driven industry. Now, what's happening is because of, let's say, Chinese goods entering the market, because of, customer demands changing so fast, lot sizes are decreasing, right? Which means the number of shipments, the volumes are increasing. Yeah. And if you look at markets like Europe, Australia, US, etc., there's only so many people to do. And if, let's say, the work becomes 10x, there's also a shortage of people. There's a shortage of drivers, right? So I think some of this, if you see, is what is driving enterprises towards saying that, okay, look, how can AI actually amplify the potential of people? To be able to drive efficiency, you need to have a lot more accuracy when it comes to addresses, right? And you'd be surprised at how unclear they are, right? So at Shipsy, we've processed north of 4 billion shipments. We have these pairs of address to lat long. We fundamentally understand address the way people write much better. Right? We've taken so many decisions in the past, like the system has in terms of address to lat long. Now, this means that the agents we deploy to talk to the people to clarify some of these addresses, and that's the main use case. We've seen accuracy in address go straight to the bottom line. It can save costs anywhere from 8 to 12%. So I think, it's definitely a big use case. That say that, okay, look, how are we actually effectively going to reduce cost per order? So I'll give you an example, batching. In quick commerce, right? You would have seen maybe in the last few months, it's no longer, just one kind of driver coming to deliver your thing. That we're trying to find, an alternate stop in the middle, or let's say in the same society. And this is where AI comes in again to see that, let's say in a span of say 2 to 3 minutes, let's say another order came from the same society. Can we batch it together? Can we club it together? And this reduces cost per order. At Shipsy, we've been very mindful in terms of the architecture of how this works, right? So today, any agent that is created has to report to a human. That's a fundamental constraint in the system, right? You cannot have an agent that is operating in isolation, right? All of the policies and guardrails are set such that it can only take certain types of decisions, and the human in the loop has to take some of the more sensitive decisions, like any payout related things or any finance related matters, for example, right? Or let's say, should you actually cancel a customer order, right? A lot of these are taken by the human. AI is definitely right up there. Everyone wants to invest, right? I think everyone feels the pressure of much higher customer expectations, the pressure of rising costs, and I think everyone sees that if you don't invest, and I don't think it's about layering agents in isolation to broken systems. That's not the future that enterprises see. Enterprises fundamentally want intelligent systems that can help humans make better decisions and really drive significantly different outcomes for customers.